Hello everyone, welcome into Simply Blossoming Tarot. I am Gigi and this is my channel, as most of y'all know. So I haven't did one of these like podcast type voice audio videos, which I used to do all of the time. I had to stop doing them because I like doing them. It's easier, like it's less work, you know. But it's very strange. I can record with my mic on my audio app and like on different things, but for some reason it's just not working when I go to record through YouTube. So I don't know if this is like a bug or whatever. I don't know what it is. Okay, so I'm just doing the best with what I got. Okay, but before, because I know this is gonna be a late upload, and it goes so well with the Scorpio energy that I'm getting ready to talk about. I was like, I cannot not talk about this. So we have the lunar eclipse coming tomorrow on May 5th. Full moon, lunar eclipse in Scorpio. The energy is already here. Okay. I really want to talk about it and speak on it because it's such an intense energy. So it just depends on where Scorpio is in your chart, you know, things connected to the 8th house, all of that. I can't remember which sign it is, but I know because I just went through it the other day. Mercury retrograde is still going on. So if there's any activity in your 8th house when it comes to Mercury retrograde on top of the Scorpio energy, it's a lot, okay? So eclipses normally come with a surprise element. It kind of reminds me of, well, I always call it raw universal power or energy. That is just, it's not energy that we should try to harness or use or whatever, right? Trying to manifest with whatever. Because it's just going to do what it's going to do. What I used to do, and I'm leaning more towards doing a lot more with astrology opposed to tarot for some reason right now. Just really being pulled to it. But when I used to do my astrology dives, I would always say, let the moon waves wash over you. Meaning, like, I don't want to say I don't care what other people think, but we as humans are affected by the moon, whether we want to denounce that or say that that's not a real thing or whatever, right? And so if the moon energy has a pull on us and the moon energy affects us, then that means that the other planets have some sort of effect on us as well, but in different ways. Okay, we are a part of a solar system. We're not just this rock floating in the sky, and we're not a part of, our planet is a part of a system, you know, so it's like we're not just like a one-off, like, oh, we're the best planet in the zodiac. I mean, not the zodiac, we're the best planet in the planetary system, and, you know, we're the only one with life on it, and just all these things. It's like Jupiter has an effect on us, Mars has an effect on us, Mercury has an effect on us, just like the moon has an effect on us. If you have worked in education, if you have worked in aviation, and then also in medical or like hospitals, whatever, and a lot of cops, but you know, a lot of cops can also tell you that around the time of full moons, like, things get crazy. Like, it really does. It's a real thing. It's a true thing. And then not only that, the fact that the waves connected to the moon and how, like, the moon plays on, like, that push and pull of the waves on the beach and stuff like that. Like, it's so real, right? And then the fact that we as humans are made up predominantly of, like, mostly water. And then when the moon comes, or when the full moon comes, sometimes new moons feel like full moons, but when full moons come, our emotions come up to the surface. We feel a little more sensitive. We feel a little more raw. And with that, I'm just going to go ahead and segue into what I'm trying to say. So this Scorpio full moon lunar eclipse is going to bring up emotions from the depths. And for me personally, I felt emotions coming up, but I didn't know, like, I couldn't pinpoint like where they were coming from. Like, I just knew I felt like I wanted to cry, you know. And so and a lot of times when that happens, not a proud moment, but a lot of times when that happens, I just like you know, just go to something else. Like, I don't really sit there and like let it come out, you know. So that's me. I just got to work on, you know, my hardness, whatever. But Scorpio rules money and relationships, basically. Taxes, stuff like that. Sensual energy as well. But the thing about this specific transit, I guess you can say, or this specific moon, is it has opposition to Uranus, and Uranus is in Taurus. Oh, that's what I was trying to say. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I always say, sorry y'all know how I get. It's so much stuff in my mind that I'm trying to get out. So I was trying to say that I always say, let the moon waves wash over you, right? Meaning you're going to naturally be affected by the Scorpio full moon energy, just naturally, right? So for me, I pick up on the energy before it comes, like a couple of days before it comes. So the other day, something just told me, like, I wasn't staying abreast to like world news, global news, finance news, and all that stuff. And I used to like basically pull predictions off of the future of the United States financial situation or whatever, right? Well-being. And then also like war and all these things. So I was like, let me tap in right quick. So I pulled up CNN, saw what was going on with the war and everything, and then I clicked over to was it Bloomberg? And I was looking at all the financial things, right? And then like I'm looking at it, and in my head I'm like seeing the chart in my head, and I'm like, holy crap. So right now we have a retrograde, right? Which is volatile energy, whatever. Not volatile, it's just like not the best energy, right? To be making financial decisions and all these things. Uranus is in Taurus. This is like, Uranus doesn't like to be in Taurus. That's just you know. But Uranus is unpredictable. It is it's connected to Aquarius energy. So like how Aquariuses are very like unique, different. You don't know what's going on with them. It's like they're just kind of like a wild card of the zodiac. That's what is going on in the financial sector right now. Taurus is connected to finances. It's connected to luxury. It's connected to banking, money, all of that. Which is why a lot of people with Taurus and Libra placements, they are really good at making money, right? But anyway, so we have that opposition going on with this specific full moon. So it's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. But mainly, there is a heavy focus on money and our partnerships connected to money. So right now, there may be, and then again, the 8th house is a shared partnership. So it could be business, it could be your partner's money, your girlfriend, boyfriend's money, if y'all living together paying rent, if you married, your spouse's money, or your money, vice versa, the joint account, whatever. It's also about breaking down codependent dynamics connected to money, or just toxic foundations that are connected. It's not only with money, because it's also emotional as well. Scorpio is a very emotional sign, a very intuitive sign. If you have Scorpio in your sun, moon, horizon, or Venus, yeah, it's, you know, it's, the boom is coming, you know, in some sort of way. But for me though, so you guys can get an idea of like how you can connect it to your life or whatever, or your situation, or you can try to identify how the energy is playing out in your life, right? So for me, I'm starting to break down. I'm being pulled towards learning more things about finance. I've always had this push to want to combine astrology and finance, but at the same time like having to watch it, because like in certain things like you can't be like trying to predict certain shit. But I mean, yeah, you can try though, right? But so I like to use my intuitive abilities and apply them like in everything. So, and then not only that, not only taking my intuitive abilities, but just the way that I see things, my unique perspective of just like how I'm looking at things in the world and how I'm taking these things in, and what it's like my specific perspective, right? I'm always curious as to like, okay, well, if I learn something new and then I get a really good understanding of it and I apply my intuition to it, because if you have intuition, you can apply it to anything, right? So apply my intuition to it, and then apply the new knowledge attained to it, and then applying my specific unique point of view of how I see things. Like, you know, I could possibly create something new from that, or see something that somebody can't see, or whatever, right? So that has kind of been on my mind for maybe about 2 years. And it actually, well, yeah, 2 years. So, but anyway, this full moon is like spot on with that energy. So I'm learning, unlearning, and relearning my outlook on finances, right? And then also the foundations of what I was taught about finances and money, right? My mama used to always say, money don't grow on trees. And she used to say, I'm not Ivanka Trump, right? But previous to certain dynamics that happened within my family, I was just taught that like whatever you want, you got. So depending on how you grew up, because I grew up with a mix of both, right? I found myself trying to figure out like, okay, you get money, but you can't spend it super fast. But at the same time, when you were small, you know, money was just all around. Like, money did grow on trees, right? But then when there was a certain shift in life, money all of a sudden didn't grow on trees, and now you like, okay, life is majorly different, right? So that that even has affected like my decision making skills. I'm very cautious or whatever. Of like not wanting to make certain decisions or making the wrong move, very cautious, right? But anyway, right now, if you go and turn on any type of financial news or anything, you will see that banks are like failing or belly upping or closing, whatever you want to call it. They are, they're just belly upping. So, and then another interesting fact about Uranus being in Taurus is that when you kind of get into the stock market, they talk about things being, I think it's bearish and bullish, and Taurus is the bull. So right now, I do understand that Scorpio is connected to emotions and sexuality and all these things, and it's just like everything coming up from the surface, right? But we're having that moment in finances right now, like on a global scale. Not too long ago, something was going on in China. China has been trying to focus on getting their currency to be like the main currency or some shit like that. And so they came out and said that their currency was being used more than the US dollar in their country or whatever. But you know, China is always in competition, you know, with us, always wanting to rise to the top first. Speaking of that, because I'm Aquarius and I know that right now the Scorpio energy is just like all over the place. Again, Pluto is in the sign of Aquarius. Oh my gosh. So Aquarius is, we are going through major changes. Like, whew, we're being pushed to the forefront. We're being like challenged to grow. And Pluto is that energy. It's kind of volatile. Like, it's that war energy. Like, you may be growing, and I know I have a lot of Aquarius on the channel. You may be growing from a result of like pressure, or from the result of chaos or hecticness or dysfunction. Because again, Scorpio has all of that into it. But the thing is that it's like the Tower card. Once the faulty foundation is crumbled, then you can build up the new foundation. So because I'm an Aquarius and I am much more aligned with forward thinking, I don't want to, well, okay, I can say futuristic thinking, but not in terms of like I'm always trying to guess the future, I'm always trying to predict, because I'm not. Because if that was the fact, then there would be an issue with faith there, right? Like, I have, my faith is solid, you know? So like I'm a curious person, you know, you question everything, whatever, but a lot of the things that I like, what I'm researching and what I'm trying to get down to the bottom of is like, it's like I just want to learn. If that makes sense. Like, I want to be in the know, and then see what the breadcrumbs are walking us to, like, as a result. And that could be a many of different things. So but as a futuristic sign or a forward thinking sign, I'm already understanding that, like, Rome is falling right now, right? But where my mind is focused is like, okay, well, all right, well, we know Rome is falling. So what city is gonna rise from the ashes first? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always like, well, what's the next thing that's getting ready to come up, right? And a lot of Aquariuses, we pick up on it so quick that about time everybody else picks up on it, now we're on to the next breadcrumb of like, okay, well, what's coming in next? Like, we're so ahead of the time that it's just like, I don't know, it's almost like we're not missing the mark. We're hitting the mark, but we're hitting the mark way ahead of time. And then it takes a minute to, like, for things to catch up, you know? So anyway, with all of this destruction energy that's going on around the globe right now, the Scorpio energy is going to intensify it as well. And it's going to cause major endings. Like how I was saying with the banks and things like that, a bank closing, that's a major ending. That is a financial institution that has, you know, serviced millions of customers. That's a major ending. That's a releasing, right? But the thing is that, and then a lot of those banks was backing, I'm sorry, I'm like, but it's just the topic. I feel like I'm speaking off topic. I normally don't talk about all this stuff, but I'm on topic because of the energy of this full moon. And this is the thing about astrology and being an intuitive and all of these things. It's not about like wrapping a fucking crystal on your head and pulling out the Florida water and you know, taking on spirituality as a personality. It's about actually applying these things in a real world way and using it to grow in some sort of way, whether it's your healing, because there are things you can identify in your birth chart or whatever. But then again, we are humans, we're not birth charts. So I say that with a little balance there of you are a living, breathing, thinking, feeling, experiencing, seeing, you know, sentient being. So you take that into account. Like, you're not your zodiac sign, you're not your birth chart. Like, it's just a tool, you know. And I always want to say that because I feel like, I don't know why, but when it comes to spirituality and astrology and all of these things, people People, they take it, I don't want to say like to heart. It's just like, it's something that they want to argue about because they feel like it's anti-religion and it's this, that, and the third. No, these are tools. Like, literally, chapter 1 of the Bible, right? The wise men found Jesus by looking at the star in the sky. Like, that we learn so much about this place from astrologers and astronomers and the mystery schools and all of these ancient knowledge and all of these things. And I just feel like, why pit one thing against another? And I don't know. I also feel like I don't get it because if I don't like something, I'm not tuned into it. You know? Well, I try my best, but I mean, that's it. Like, if I don't like something or if I don't agree with it, I'm not going too much, you know, that's like hanging out with a person you don't like all day. To me, that's asinine. That makes no sense. Like, why are you doing that? Like, that's not a positive thing, you know, for you. So, I don't know. I think astrology is cool. I think being an intuitive is fucking awesome. I think that it is a healing tool or whatever, and everything isn't about prediction and all of that, you know, and everything isn't about putting it on a pedestal, you know. I don't know. I just think people tack on the stuff and it's just, try to find a positive thing in it. It's just a tool. The Bible is a tool. Like, these are tools, you know. Therapy is a tool. Because I can see, well, I'm gonna say it. I can say the argument of like, oh, you going to a therapist is basically giving your power outside of yourself to somebody, a talking head, and you're just giving up your power of choice to a talking head, right? Just like they say, oh, you're giving up your power of choice to a tarot deck, okay? Oh, you're giving up your power of choice to a religion. These are tools, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but anyway, enough of that argument, because I haven't even got to the nitty gritty of this. Y'all, what I just want to say is, like, feel your feelings at this time, okay? When it comes to your partnerships, your business partnerships, your money, right? Your basis. This is the foundation. This is the basis of how you connect in partnership and how you connect with finances and money, right? And I'll be the first to tell you, like, I am still learning, right, in terms of finances, but it's something that I just feel that I have, if something is a challenge, that means you have an opportunity to be very great at it. So I'm just looking at it in those terms. And because I just be nerding out, me and Warren Buffett have like a lot of the same, we have a lot of the same aspects in our charts, and it's kind of weird because I have a specific aspect in my chart that's like not a lot of people have. So there's somebody else too, but yeah, it's like an indicator of learning how to manage finances and money, right, at a very high skill and at a very high level. But the planetary energies that's backing it, which is like malefic energy, which is like hard ass energy, discipline, you can either have an interest in it and go that way naturally, or like you learn it through like challenges and mistakes. So I'm just trying to kind of go let me just be curious and move this way and kind of learn about this, because I'm feeling pulled to this naturally, you know. So I'm trying to learn through that way, not the other way. But anyway, this, like I said, is about the basis of your relationships. I really want all of us to operate and to connect in our relationships from a healthy standpoint. Because if not, we're wasting our time. If not, we're building up faulty foundations that will later crumble. right? So I don't want y'all to waste y'all time, and I sure as hell don't want to waste my time, right? That's one of the reasons why I enjoy staying single, because I feel like, so in order for me to have a solid foundation in a relationship, I need to first have a solid foundation within myself. I need to first be able to bet on myself. I need to first be able to have self-confidence and, total belief in myself that I can, show up to the space where I can perform, or where I can show up in a relationship in a healthy manner and be able to do that, So, and that first starts with showing up for yourself. And I know it sounds, because this shit is starting to become cliche. Like, oh, self-love this, self-love this. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's the Pluto and Aquarius energy, but it has really landed. Because but that's another thing about me. Like, I can't fake the funk. Like, if it's not landing for me, then what I'm going to be talking about is like how it's not landing for me, or how I don't totally believe in the concept of it. Because I remember I used to talk about self-love, right? And I was leaning on a scripture in the Bible where it was saying, like, in the end days people will be lovers of themselves. And that's more so just saying selfish, just totally selfish. But I was kind of taught, I guess from a religious way, of like, you're the giver, you show up, you have a good heart, you have a pure spirit, and you're nice and you're kind, and you are operating from service, right? Well, I had to learn how to distinguish between like being of service and overgiving. Like, I used to even overshare, but, and I was just, honestly just being myself, and just, cracking jokes and shit, or saying stories about my family or whatever. To the point where a lot of people online felt like, damn, like, you really give me a sense of like a home vibe. Like, I feel like I kind of know you, because that's how I was, the vibe was there. My family used to be a big, focal point in, my online, whatever, platforms, whatever. And that has really changed since, I don't know what year, but that has really changed, because I just feel that, the space isn't safe right now. It's a lot going on. I even sometimes I'm hesitant to like taking pictures of like the kids in my family and stuff like that. I don't know. It's something about the internet vibe right now is really weird to me. And but at the same time, I understand that people need to see loving families together. They need to see loving couples together, and that yes, have a sense of privacy and protect what you love, take care of what you love, but at the same time, show that, because I do think that the world is in such a low vibration and it's trying to come up, but that people do need to see these examples of love and like harmony and family and all these things, because these are traditional values that are being like tossed by the wayside. Okay, I'm rambling, but whatever emotions come up, just let them come up. Whatever, like, and it. I'm talking to you. No, whoever is listening to this, bro, it. Like, what needs to be released out of your life. And I, actually just naturally these last 2 days, I hung out in my hammock. Like, I've been underneath the moonbeams, like, just naturally. And I think that, that is so because there has been a lot of things I need to let go, that I need to release. I've been like fucking mad, bro. Like, like, girl, I've always been very like quiet to myself, and like, I've just been like railing, Like, these motherfuckers getting on my nerves. Like, you know, like, I just been like, not mad, but just like, I don't know. Like, I just been feeling like my energy has been in protest. Like, nah, this is me. Like, you know, just, I don't know. Which is good because, I've always been kind of, like, more on a I've always been very outspoken a little bit, like in my own way. Like, I'm gonna tell you the truth. But now it's just kind of like, I don't know. Again, Pluto is in Aquarius, so all of this stuff, and Pluto is connected to that Scorpionic energy. So it's like, whatever I'm feeling, it's just gonna come out, you know. And I'm trying to work on like the impulses or whatever. But this energy is bringing that up. Like, whatever you are feeling, honor it, let it come up, take care of it, release it. If you have been holding on to grudges, and I'm telling you, I'm speaking from experience, okay? If you've been holding on to anger, grudges, toxicity, whatever it is, let that shit go. Let it go. Number one, for your health, okay? Number two, for your peace of mind, you know, mind, body, soul, spirit, all of that. And number three, on an energetic, universal level, let shit go so new shit can come. Because that's just the law. And the law is the law. Like, that shit is real. So, or like, even in terms of like manifestation, like when you just stuck on something, and you're like, why isn't it coming? Why I'm not seeing the results? Whatever. And then when you're finally like, I don't really, alright, I'm over it. Then that's when you see the results. Like, you have to let it go. Like how people obsess over people and obsess over people. And then when they go and move on to somebody else, here come that person that they used to be obsessed about. And they're like, damn, I don't even want him no more. And it's just like, because we was missing the last step, you know, or they were missing the last step of the manifestation, law of manifestation or whatever. So we need a release so we can get more. I know that, like, when we release, we feel like there's a loss there. And you might even go through a process of grieving, whatever it is, because you can grieve any damn thing, right? It's just time to really let go. And these are major things. If you have like a grudge, something going on like with your parents, like you can't forgive your parents, you can't forgive your ex, right? You can't forgive the mean girl in high school, like you can't forgive this person, you can't forgive the idiot on your job or whatever, whoever's getting on you can't, I just can't get over it. I can't believe they did it to me. This is the energy. But the thing is that when the moonbeams hit you, and they gonna hit you because they gonna hit everybody, okay? Let the moonbeams hit you, and whatever need to come up, and then you just make peace with that and let it go, you know? Yeah, but so in terms of relationships, that could be rewriting the narrative of that kind of hit me. Rewriting the narrative of like what you think marriage looks like, what you think love is, what do you think what masculinity means to you, what femininity means to you, showing up in those energies, even roles, what is a mother, what is a father, right? Just, it's the very foundational information or programming or codes, whatever you want to call it, of when we grow up and we're taught this is how love works, this is how marriage works, this is how relationships work, we're releasing a lot of that. And it could just come up, you know, we're releasing a lot of that. And intuitively, I'm getting that somebody is going to have a conversation with their father. I don't know why I'm getting that specifically. Some of y'all, it could be parents, which is like mother, whatever. But there's something about foundations within the male father figures. For some of you, it could be like even like a stepdad or something like that. Yeah, because oh my gosh, why? Okay, well, whatever. I'm channeling now. So what the scenario is with this is that whoever this is, they have taken on a lot of characteristics and things of the father figure, or I don't know why I keep getting stepfather, but some sort of father figure. Could even be grandfather, whatever, whoever helped raise you, or your biological father, whatever this is. There's an energy of like calamity there, like trauma there. I don't know if it's like and Scorpio is connected to abuse, emotional abuse, physical abuse, manipulation, all these things. It's connected to power. So it's when you use these power sources against people in the wrong way, right? And also Scorpio in your chart is where you are the most powerful. So you even need to go and look up that information if that helps. But whatever I'm picking up, there is something in terms of like their father, what they saw father to be, or or feminine energies that hold masculine energy is very, yeah. So anyway, showing up in relationships, the foundations of it, a lot of things is gonna crumble around that. So when that happens, right? So the idea of codependent, toxic, unhealthy relationships is bottoming out. So when that happens, you have to be okay with what? Being alone. Now you're on the journey of self-love or self-healing, self-forgiveness, whatever. Because if we're in toxic situations, we're allowing that to happen. It's not only just the one person. So also needing to step into self-forgiveness from that aspect. It's just a lot. That's why I was like, I have to get on here and talk about this, because this is a layered planetary energy, and it's strong. Like, I'm so connected to the moon that like the moon affects me, and then I look back and be like, oh shit. Or I can just randomly guess what sign the moon is based off of like what's going on or what I'm feeling. Like around new moons and full moons, like I'm just like automatically like cleaning up stuff, getting rid of stuff, releasing stuff, you know, or starting something or whatever. I'm just in alignment with the natural flow of like earth, of just nature, you know. On the other side, yeah, finances, all of that. Also sexual dynamics. A lot of sexual wounds being healed. A lot of like let me see. See if I can word this. I used to kind of talk about this on the channel more often, but I kind of backed away from it. But so sexual energy is very powerful, and it can be cleansing too. So like cause like you're your most open and vulnerable during sex. So I feel just however you can get these intense emotions that it's just time for them to go. However you can get them out of your system, get them out of your system. Okay, but Scorpio is connected to like the dynamics of sex and our outlook on sex, and are we using sex as a way to like siphon power? Are we exhibiting negative, I don't know, characteristics of like, are we using sex in a negative way, like in a dominant way? Is it a toxic masculinity? Is it toxic femininity? Right? Because sex is powerful. Like, you know how they say like in marriage, oh, it's not right if like the couple gets into it and the wife is like, we ain't having sex, like closing it down, and the man is like, well, I can't go get it nowhere else, like, you know. So like understanding the power in sex, the power moves in sex, but also understanding that like sexual energy is sacred, and understanding that is the energy of life, and to like respect it as such, you know, and honor it as such, and then also honoring the vessel and things like that. But this is more so of like relearning and reteaching oneself, because yeah, like somebody can literally be like, oh wow, I have a sex addiction, or oh wow, like it's a lot coming up. That's why I was like, I have to talk about this, because this is such intense energy. We're talking about sex, we're talking about the foundations of sex, the foundations of money, your finances, and we're talking about the foundations of partnership. Like, these are 3 pillars of everybody's life. Like, that's so huge. Like, don't even get me started. But that's so huge. Like, this is hitting major sectors in our life. And then the thing is, like, in partnership, this could be business partnership, this could be marriage, you know, spouses, it's connected to like spouses' finances, shared income, you know, how we're connecting with people. Like, bro, Scorpio energy is like wild. And that's why it's like, wherever you are, I mean, wherever it is in your birth chart, you hold a lot of power there, because Scorpio or Scorpionic energy holds a lot of power and weight over our life in general. Sex is how we, you know, keep humanity going. Money is how we take care of ourselves. It's almost like connected to like the basic needs, right? Connection and partnership, and like it's also connected to business. So it's an investment. And so when we're talking about investments, now we're talking about legacy and the future of things. So Scorpio is like a fucking packed house. And me even talking about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to go and look at mine. But I think mine, I have power connected to the 11th house, which is like networking, groups, online, internet, and then also Scorpio has the magnetic attraction, like that mysterious pull or whatever. So like you can apply that in there as well. I'm trying to see what else, because I kind of just went off of the dome with that. So sun opposite the moon, that means that your intimate relationships, home, family, all of that is going to be coming to the forefront. The tension is going to come up, y'all. The tension is going to come up. But it's for the best, though. Full moon opposite Uranus. Oh, we talked about that. Uranus is all about independence. This is a lot about emotional independence, coming out of codependency. But also Uranus is thinking. It's a Aquarius energy, so that's also, we're very mentally independent. So, like, we're not going with it unless, like, we like, oh, okay, that makes sense. We're just, we don't buy into a lot of shit. I'm trying to see, what are the degrees? We didn't even get into the aspect of war. But we can basically predict. We can, what is that? Predict? Okay. We can basically predict that there are going to be some things connected to war that are just coming to a head right now. Okay, 14th degree Scorpio. Let's nerd out for a second and check out what specifically this degree means. Oh, get out. That's what I'm saying, y'all. This shit is crazy. Okay, so the 14th degree, okay, it's in Taurus domain. And it is connected to finance, beauty, nature, pleasure, patience, and more. So this is like literally what I just talked about with Scorpio. Finances, right? Pleasure, sex, all of that. Wow. And then it's associated with Venus, which is the energy of love, beauty, abundance, money. Whoa. Y'all see? It's just so, I don't know, I just get excited. Trying to see if there's anything else. Yeah, that shit crazy. It's a Taurus degree. Wow. And then I want to say that, is Mercury retrograde in Taurus? Let me see. Yeah, give me a little second. Yep. Wow. Oh man. I know Taurus, Scorpios, even Aquarius. It's a lot going on. And then not even us talking about, or not even us covering that as a whole, like as a whole, just universe and everything. We're going from one age to the next on top of all of this transformation. My God. We're stepping into the age of Aquarius. Not like, if I could measure it by a tarot card, it's like the Page of Pentacles. Like the Page of Pentacles, like, it's just, we're just stepping into the age of Aquarius. This is not, it's almost like we're still in that transitionary energy, but like, and you can tell because things are becoming more tech-based, futuristic-based, and we will see moving forward more government. Let me see. More government boundaries and structure, rules and regulations around tech and online with this whole Age of Aquarius thing too. People, and now this I know, people think that the Age of Aquarius is going to be like, oh, hippie, wow. I think people are now starting to understand that it's not. Aquarius is very connected to, our energy is kind of metallic and cold. It reminds me of like a surgical room in the hospital where it's kind of cold and steely and like there's sharpness, or like a room with what are those, like those data farms where it's like just a whole bunch of memory banks or data storage, and they're in like these cold rooms because they have to keep it really cold. That's like the energy of Aquarius. People, yes, we're humanitarian and all that, but Aquarians are very we're kind of like unemotional, a little more detached. We're more about the facts and the logistics of things, and we are researchers, and like we're the mad scientists of the zodiac and all that stuff. We're really not a hippie type. I feel like Taurus is a little hippie, or Pisces. I don't know why people get the Age of Aquarius kind of like mixed up with that hippie vibe, like Woodstock or some shit, but it's not. The Age of Aquarius that we're stepping into, things are gonna be more disconnected. Like right now, you can already see that certain schools they're going to like 4-day weeks. Things are like getting more like people are working at home, right? People are wearing like masks, and they're doing things, and like moving forward, we'll be doing a lot of things like in like individual pods and stuff like that. Like things are more headed towards futurism, more like not George Jetson, Lord have mercy. Wait, no, I'm getting George Jefferson and I need to take my ass to sleep. the Jetsons, like, you know how we used to watch those, the cartoon, the Jetsons, and they're like, oh, in 2020, the flying car, and the da-da-da, and you have, like, these little kitchen gadgets and all of this stuff. It's more so that way. And then there's also restriction. Aquarius is connected to, originally, like, classically, I will say classically, Aquarius is ruled by Saturn. So now we're ruled by Saturn and Uranus, right? Saturn is about law, discipline, structure, karma, restriction. It's like, okay, so you're going to grow anyway, but you can take the hard way. But the thing is, like, if you go ahead and do the legwork yourself, you'll get rewarded for it, and you don't have to, I guess, suffer less or go through the growing pains or go through the challenges. So Saturn energy is it's malefic energy. Even Uranus it's just like very hard. It's like your daddy, you know what I'm saying? Not your dad, I mean, because I don't want that to be triggering to nobody, because you never know people's situations, but it's like you get in trouble at school and your mom is like, okay, you know, don't do that again, and then your daddy come home and you like, oh my gosh, like that's that Saturn energy. It's about structure, discipline, staying in line, all of that. So we're having a lot of structure and restrictions coming towards a lot of things, especially in tech and online and all these things. And people are kind of just thinking like we're going towards more futuristic ideas, even when it comes to like surgical things, medical, all of that, finances as well. As we can see, things are crumbling down now to set the stage for just a new way of being, you know, like we're pushing things to a more futuristic view. So like I was saying earlier, my mind is like, okay, well, in these sectors of life, who's going to come up first, or what's going to come up first? What companies are going to come up first? What currencies are going to come up first? What fields are going to pop up first? You know what I mean? Like, fields in terms of like, working or whatever. What's going to be in demand? Even what styles are going to pop up? What art is going to pop up? Who's rising to the top first? Is what my mind is already on. Like, okay, well, what's the trajectory of this, that, and the third, and which one? You know, that's how I be thinking. But anyway, I didn't sit up here and talk for an hour, so I'm pretty much done. But y'all, it's a lot gonna come up. Don't run from it, because I feel like this is such an opportune time to get through so many things that we've struggled with and that has held us back. If you are sitting somewhere, bro, because like for me, if I get that energy, I released a lot earlier, but if I get that that feeling of like the tears are welling up, or I'm getting a little emotional, I'm gonna sit there and cry like a damn baby. Like, I'm gonna give myself that moment, because something is coming up. And for me, I don't know about y'all, but sometimes I have moments where I'm like, okay, I'm feeling this sadness, or I'm feeling this emotion, and I don't quite know where it's coming from. You know, it's kind of hard to pinpoint, because like I'm also a person, I don't register stress. Like, it's just certain things that I don't register. And so, like, I'll never say like, oh, I'm stressed out. Like, that's something that doesn't register to me. So I'll have to, like, if I start getting a headache, or, like, it'll have to be like, I'll get like a physical feel, and I'm like, oh wait, okay, I think that's stress. And then, so I go off like my body's sign, but I go off my body's signs that it's kicking to me, but my mind is very mentally strong to where like I don't know, like I just keep going. I just keep going and just keep pushing. Like, nothing really gets to me. And then if I like, hold on, I feel like a little more tired than usual, or I have a headache or whatever, you know, my body will send me signs of stress, but until then, I'm like, I'm fine. Like, I don't really. And then I also try to stop and have like those mindful moments. Like, I do body scans and stuff like that to just try to figure out, okay, how am I feeling today? All of that, and to connect with myself. But I don't know. Sometimes, like, I can pinpoint emotions like clearly when something happened, but when, like, on the surface I'm just fine, and I'm like, I don't know why I feel like this, like everything is okay, I don't know why I'm feeling like this. Like, it will take a minute for me, but whatever it is, I'll just let it out, and then I'm like, okay, well. And the thing is, I used to talk a lot about this on the channel, but like, the body remembers, like the trauma we've gone through, the fucked up things that has happened to us, just breakups, all kind of stuff, grieving, loss, death in the family, whatever. This stuff is in your body. That's why, that was one of the main things that triggered me into like really taking care of my health and working out and all this stuff, because these emotions are like in your body. And if you have looked or studied Chinese medicine, they will tell you that, like, if you're having something going on in the mental, then you need to turn to the body. Like, if you're having something going on in the emotional, it's like, we're really connected. Like, you need to go, if you got something going on with the emotion, you need to turn to the spirit. You need to It's not totally like where it's coming up from, right? Like how I was saying earlier, so I would get a sensation in my body if I feel stressed or whatever, right? But that's like coming from the mental. So it's like working through the body to get through the mental, because it's all connected. Body, mind, soul, spirit, emotions. We're layered beings. So working through the body, moving the chi in the body, moving the energy in the body, even drinking water to get emotions, stagnant emotions and things about. And my thing is, I know all these things. It's hard to just continue and stay consistent with all these things, but I try to honor all the emotions that come up, you know. And I'm just saying, at this time, do that. And how you can remove it, just get it out your body. Get it out your body however you can. Whether that's through movement, emotions, crying, sexual energy, whatever. Just get it out, because this is the opportune time to do so. Okay? And then also, whatever you're releasing, stand on that shit and don't be going flip-floppy. Because you flip-floppy on some shit, you disrespecting yourself, and you letting people play in your face, you know. So really take advantage of this energy to be like, I'm releasing all of this shit and it's gone. And it's gone for good, right? Whether that's you releasing a certain way of being, a certain way of thinking, a certain way of how you're spending your money, how you're investing your money, a certain way of how you are walking into business partnerships, into serious commitments, marriage, love partnerships, things of that nature, how you're walking into your sexual partnerships, whatever. Man, just take advantage of this opportunity, you know. And I feel like, man, I was about to say, if you don't believe in this shit, like, you know, like, just, but I feel like you wouldn't be all the way at the end of this video if you didn't have some sort of curiosity, I guess, towards astrology, whatever. But yeah, even if I feel like, even if you're like a little skeptical, like, try to use this energy, like, whatever comes up, like, let it out, you know. Yeah, because it's just a release, and it's so natural. It naturally happens. You don't have to try to conjure up no shit. You don't have to try to go and burn up something. You don't have to try to go and do magic and all this stuff. Bruh, nature is magic enough. That's a whole nother conversation, okay? But nature is magic enough. Sit outside, you know, get your emotions out, journal, whatever. And if emotions come up, just let them. Or even if there's emotions that come up and you have to talk to somebody, or it's within a relationship or partnership, let it come up. I mean, like, the only way to get to the other side is to get through it. When you're not discussing it and you're not facing it head on, it's just gonna become a problem later on down the line, right? So we have to do that with ourselves too. Like, whatever we're trying to run from within ourselves, the shit that we know that we have to work on, it's like, this is a very good time to face it so we could just move forward and let it go. But you got to be truthful with yourself first, you know? Alright, so that is literally an hour. Alright, y'all. Have a good night. Hopefully this helps.